What you're looking at is the altar for the golden calf set up by Jeroboam in the early 10th century BC. And he did that in order to ensure that the 10 tribes that he just acquired would not go to Jerusalem to worship. They would stay here and sacrifice on the altar that he set up here. So the golden calves were up there and the altar was here. We're in the city of Dan, the ancient city of Dan, way to the north in Israel, the northernmost area of Israel. And it says in 1 Kings chapter 12 why he did this. He wanted to avoid the Israelites that he was now under control of. He wanted to prevent them from going all the way to Jerusalem and worshiping, because if they did, they would stop being loyal to him and start being loyal to the southern kingdom, Rehoboam, who had the two tribes. He had Judah and he had Benjamin. So he was trying to keep his power. And how often do we want to do that? Why do we sin? Because we're trying to get one or more of these three good things: sex, money, or power. And we'll often take shortcuts to get those things, and that will cause us to, instead of following God, following our friends, following the culture, following our family, following the money, following the prestige, following the power, following the sex, because we want those things more than we want God. And by the way, my mentor, Dr. Norman Geisler, used to say this, that fraternity will almost always overcome theology. What did he mean by that? He meant that when you have somebody you love, a friend or family member, who decides to do something that God doesn't want that person to do, you are more apt, I am more apt to side with that person rather than God. Oh, we want to love them, so we're going to approve of what they want to do. Well, first of all, love doesn't mean approval. Love means seeking what's best for somebody according to the will of God. Not what I want, not what they want, but what God wants. That's what love is. But too often, we'll throw God and the Bible and Jesus under the bus in order to side with our family. You know what that means? That means that your God is not the true God. Your family, your friends, or your culture is the true God. That's no way to live long term, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, that's why God ultimately judged the northern tribes, because they weren't worshiping God. They were worshiping themselves by trying to get what they wanted from God, setting up their own idols and following those idols rather than the true God.